Hello and welcome to another day in glorious Chiang Mai. Coming up in today's video, well, if you thought this festive period was over, you'd be wrong. Today we've come down to Padaet Weir, a municipality just south of Chiang Mai City, and we will witness the tremendous work of the local municipality to clear and dredge debris from the Peng River. Well, this guy's so eager, he really wants to scoop and dump. You're looking at about 40-50 in all. On the other side of the river, the excavator is rehearsing his moves. He's positioning himself in a right place to scoop and then drop, manoeuvring just perfectly for his vehicles that are lined up there. We're waiting for the head honchos who will be joining the festivities shortly. And then we'll be off.
ในนามของเทศบาลตำบลป่าแดดขอต้อนรับทุกท่านที่ให้เกียรติมาร่วมกิจกรรมโครงการเมืองสะอาดคนในชาติมีสุขในครั้งนี้ทางที่จังหวัดเชียงใหม่ได้จัดให้มีประเพณียี่เปงหรือที่บ้านเราเรียกกันว่าลอยกระทงถวายความเคารพพระบรมฉายาลักษณ์พระบาทสมเด็จพระเจ้าอยู่หัวและสมเด็จพระนางเจ้าพระบรมราชินีตรงหน้ามยหัตถ์ยกอกอึกเราทำความดีด้วยหัวใจเฮ้
Well, good morning to you. We've come down to Padaet Weir on the 1st of December 2023 for the celebration and the commitment and the spirit, the drive to make the Peng River clean. As you can see now, where I was standing halfway across there yesterday, they have brought a lot of that over and therefore filling the pontoon in a straight rather than a cube, rather than a square. So out there in the distance you can see a guy in the boat. He's pushing stuff down that's come down overnight, and these are the stragglers of Loy Krathong Krathongs that have come down from as far up as Peng. Well, this guy's so eager, he really wants to scoop and dump. Here we see the waiting queued lorries with their engines running, their backs waiting to receive the rubbish. Well, it's now 9:30. The celebration is going on a little bit longer than I thought it might. Well, there goes the first truck of 2023 Loy Krathong clearance of Padaet Weir. The slogan here is that the city is clean and the people are happy. And of course the Royal Thai Army are here walking along the pontoon with clearance bins to hand clear some of this stuff as well. So not only have they got the two grabs, one each end, they've actually got people in the middle picking it up by hand. They're at it, they're gripping it. Well, it's a bit of a circus, but a lot of people are doing some work. People are scooping and picking and grabbing, and there is the obviously the people who want to record it like me. There's plenty of photographers and videographers here, and there's a few people that are standing back and making sure it's done properly. Well, that's the second bun tuk that's gone out, filled with garbage, absolutely ram-packed with the rubbish. On its way down to the municipal dump. Well, if you've not seen it already, please look at my previous video to this, my experience of Festival of Lights 2023 in Chiang Mai. At the end of that video, show where all of this rubbish is going. It's going down to Padaet Municipality, the water treatment area and the dump of natural products that are there. This rubbish will be dumped into clearings and then let mulch down and just deteriorate, and then it will be recycled and reprocessed, and that is the first stop that it will be made. And then after that, it will be recycled. Well, there's a lot of people here that have come for the celebration and they haven't touched a krathong, they haven't touched a basket, they haven't thrown anything away. All they've done is witnessed it, and I think that is very good for educational purposes, because people need to remember and pass on those good words. And also, by taking the amount of social media selfies and videos and photographs, people then spread that word. So I think there's a current term going around in Thailand's media, which is soft power. In my last video, I introduced you to a word that I used to sum up how I feel when I look at all this rubbish in the Peng River. I think about where it goes. I think about the impact on the environment. I think about how mindful people have been, or not, about how they've prepared something that will go into the water. The amount of polystyrene that we see here can be reflected by the amount of white you see on the surface. We see circles and squares of white. All those white things are polystyrene discs that have been used for making krathongs. Now, the brown stuff is actually a banana trunk, the trunk of a banana tree. There is actually a whole trunk of a banana tree. However, the small discs of polystyrene are still being used by people who are preferring to make the krathongs with non-degradable material. So the PR job on this end has been completed. They're now resorting to the digger. The digger is now going to bring that over to the truck, and the trucks on this side will take that off to the same place down at Padaet Water Treatment Works. So now we've got two scoops in the water, and the people who are collecting by hand are redundant. Now, if you've not understood from previous videos, the content of a krathong typically is a base and then leaves pinned to that base, and then within that base they stick sticks of essence and also candles, flowers, make the krathong pretty. So the krathong is this beautiful little float, this little basket of emotion. What then happens is that people put nail clippings, they put hair, they put money, they put notes, they handwrite notes. And moreover, when they introduce that to the water, they pass it into the water with a wish, a prayer, a discussion, and floating on down the river, honouring the goddess of the water and bringing them a feeling that they are passing what they didn't want from the past into the water, and hoping that new life, new happiness, new health, new prosperity will come to them. Now that cycle happens every year. And these Krathongs have contained all of that content, but what we don't see, because it's hidden, is the amount of metal. Well, some people have chosen a greener route to making Krathongs, and they believed that by making them out of breads, by using these breads, they think that that is more ecological. Well, just think, if you've got a fish pond, I know this is a river, but if you've got a fish pond and you've got, you know, a dozen fish, and you throw a loaf of bread in there, you can imagine the amount of nitrogen that is caused in that water and the amount of imbalance that happens in that water by introducing that amount of bread into that pond. Well, what happens to the Peng on a regular yearly basis now, since the introduction of a more eco-friendly version of a Krathong, is that these breads also mount up in number. So now we've got 3 types of Krathong base. There's a 4th one, and that is bamboo. So this lovely heart-shaped one here has got a couple of sticks of incense here. There's been a candle on the top and some green dressing. This is actually a plastic. Underneath is a coconut husk in the shape of a heart, as is the top of the Krathong. This Krathong, once again, it's a coconut shaped heart. The candles and the essence must have caught fire on the top. Let's look at something else over here. And we have here a very pretty Krathong, lots of different flowers there, and underneath we've got the banana trunk. So forgive me first of all if this was your Krathong, but it made it here. It's going to the dump, and it will be, you know, rotted and shredded in a very beautiful place. So your wishes are going, they've been in the water, your wishes are going to the dump now. But if I just clear all this off, I've got these sticks of candles and incense. I've also got flowers, and these flowers have got a pin through the middle, so each one has got a pin. So that's 2 pins. Oh, there's another one, 3. Oh, they've just been stuck in, no pin. Maybe the pin's left in there. 4, 5, 6 flowers, because the pins were all stuck in there, look. Yeah, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. There's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Let's go on, shall we? Let's just take all these flowers off. Another flower, another pin, another pin. Oh, another 2 pins, 3. Good Lord, that was a very difficult flower to put in, that one. They had 3 pins in the one flower. So we've just cleared the top, okay? So there's another one. There's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Okay, so we're through. Okay, we've broken ground now, and now we're down into the actual base. But don't be put off. Let's take one of these. These are banana leaves that are nicely presented into a beautiful little, you know, like flowers on the, you know, leaves on the outside. But these have got about 3 or 4 staples in them. So let's just break that apart. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a couple more. So let's say 10 staples. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Let's round it up to 100. So there's 100 staples in there. So these then are pinned on. So we've got, as well as the flowers being pinned onto the base, we've got these being pinned on to the base as well. So they're pinned on with a couple. Amazing. Now people have actually paid for these from somebody who, as a production line, made them. They've got a shop, they've got a market stall, and the market stall actually produced these for sale. This sort of mass-produced one at a local market, at a local stall, will cost you somewhere around about 30 to 50 baht, depending on the nature of the person who's selling them. But, oh, there's a bit of candle there, look. They spend an awful lot of money on the metal work, the pins, but they don't spend a lot of time thinking about the damage that this is going to do to the environment. Now, let's just go a bit deeper here. I'm taking out some more pins. And some more pins. I actually want to get in. I actually want to get in underneath here. So that's one strip of a banana leaf as well. And there's some more pins holding this second strip of a banana leaf. And then we've got the banana trunk. And in there I've still got the pins that were holding on the strips. Now hopefully you can imagine that if this is being done by 100 stalls in Chiang Mai, they'll be selling hundreds of these at those hundreds of stalls, and what we see out in front of us on this riverscape are thousands and thousands of krathongs based upon a banana trunk. That will go back into the ground. I don't want to alarm anybody, but there's a lot of metal out there. All eco-warriors across the planet must be feeling more solastalgia from today. The view of this huge float of krathongs, this huge lodge of krathongs at the sluice gates at Padaet Weir. They must be feeling solastalgia as I am. However, when one looks at it and compares it to previous years, one can see that the amount of plastic is reducing. Environmentally friendly krathongs surely shouldn't have metal in them. Surely they shouldn't have pins and staples, let alone the polystyrene. Well, I think they've actually got the message about polystyrene over, because there's less of it this year than there has been in previous years, and the trend has been going down for several years now. But the pins and the staples have not, and where these pins and staples end up, I've got no clue, because this stuff is still floating at the moment. Some of it will stay by the side of the river in reed beds and all that sort of thing up the river and rot there. But this stuff will be recycled by these trucks, taking it down to the water treatment. There's irony there somewhere. But the municipal dump of Padaet, and there the stuff will rot down and the pins will fall out, won't they? And these pins will come out into the ground, and if they're not picked up, they will then increase the amount of metal in the ground. It's not a farm, it's not homeland, it's a water treatment location, and if it does go back into the ground, then surely there's this conflict there, isn't there? But anyway, the solastalgia I feel is that people aren't getting that message, and these krathong are coming down the river with all that metal and polystyrene in, albeit that the polystyrene now is reduced. They are far from finished, and the trucks are returning from having done their trip down to the dump. I really am fascinated the amount of attention they are paying to getting rid of this stuff in an organised way. It is being publicised, it is heavily publicised, and maybe the soft power is working, and the soft power of getting it into people's social media, into the news, and people talking about these krathongs being collected here, and the volume of them, the waste of them, the amount of plastic still included in them, and also nobody mentions the metal. So maybe the soft power will win the day. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.